Fortnite Chapter 2 storyline hasn't exactly been the most cohesive story out there. In fact, it's a running meme that literally nobody knows what's going on. And while that might be the case right now from our point of view, Epic Games has secretly been laying the groundwork of an incredible narrative that'll be built out for years to come. Midas, Ghost and Shadow, even the various forms of Jonesy are all a part of this master plot that will make sense in future seasons to come. But in order for you to understand everything, it has to be framed to you just right. And so today, Top 5 Gaming proudly presents Fortnite Chapter 2 Storyline Explained. And we'd appreciate it if you could use code T5G in the item shop when buying the Season 4 Battle Pass to support us. This video wouldn't have been made possible without all of our awesome team members that are supported by you guys. Alright, let's head down memory lane and go back to Season X where I can make sense of everything. It's very important you pay attention right now. The Prologue. In the final seasons of Fortnite Chapter 1, we were introduced to a mysterious bunch of characters only known as the Seven. They're a group of people obsessed with preserving something known as the Bridge. The only members we've identified so far are the Visitor, the Scientist, and the Paradigm. Through each season of Chapter 1, many unexplainable events happen around the Fortnite Island, and seemingly happen out of nowhere. These events all build upon each other and leave us with an exposed orb of energy known as the 0 point. The 0 point becomes more and more unstable before eventually exploding. However, as the scientist points out in his tapes, this puts the Bridge at stake. Before we continue, it's important to explain what exactly the Bridge is. This bridge that is constantly talked about is the link between Fortnite's universe and every single other universe, well, ever. Remember the Season X story trailer? We see Jonesy floating through the bridge? It's the space that connects every conceivable universe together, which is why we see all the different seasons here. The bridge is one of the most important things in the storyline, and we'll explain why at the tail end of this video. But for now, we need to talk about the black hole and why us players even came to the Chapter 2 island. So the Seven worked together to pause time right before the 0 point exploded and destroyed the bridge, and then used it to actually destroy the 0 point entirely to prevent it from ever happening again. However, while it worked, we were given the end. Everything reset, and we were brought back to the Fortnite Island in Chapter 2 known as Apollo, a fresh beginning. All we've heard from the Visitor since is some cryptic numbers during the black hole. They translated to the phrase, "I was not alone, others were outside the loop, this was not calculated, the 0 point is now inevitable." Since then, we have not seen or heard from the Seven. We were left staring into this black hole for 2 days before being thrown into Chapter 2 Season 1. In Chapter 2 Season 1, we were introduced to an all-new island with a completely new cast of characters, features, loot pool, locations, everything was new, even the graphics. Here, we didn't have much storyline at all until midway through the season. Loading screen showed us 2 factions at war with each other. They were named Alter and Ego. The first team, Ego, had crashed on the island and discovered that it was inhabited by a group of people who were literally their evil twins. So Alter, led by a mysterious villain named Chaos Agent, is working on secret plans which we still don't really know the extent of. But Ego ends up fighting them, and they end up being at war with each other over the island. There are a few notable events in Season 1 too, like the creation of Ripley, the experiment that is Big Chuggus, as well as the mystery of the Middle Island House. During a fight between 2 members of Alter and Ego, aka 8-Ball and Scratch, a lone bushranger observes the battle and takes notes. We learn more about this in Season 2. We also got a crossover with Star Wars that involved a secret message from Palpatine. This message was only ever heard in Fortnite and is referenced in The Rise of Skywalker. I know that sounds completely random, but it's important this part is mentioned. I'll touch on it soon. At the very end of Season 1, a house in the middle of the map becomes more and more filled with golden furniture and a random document relating to Ego. This is the only teaser we get for Chapter 2, Season 2. Season 2 is where the storyline really picked up for Chapter 2. It was here that we were introduced to an all-new cast. Meet Midas, a genius billionaire who possesses the power of the Golden Touch. We believe he acquired his power by stealing it from an ancient cursed king called Oro. He is also the leader and founder of a secret organization known as the Agency. A member of this agency, Bushranger, was the one who spotted Alter and Ego fighting in Season 1. Reporting back to Midas, the agency gear up to join in on the battle. Each member picks a side, and it creates a ton of tension within the organization. With the agency joining each team, they are renamed to Ghost and Shadow. Midas investigates the island a lot more, and after time, he comes to the conclusion that it, meaning the island, is some kind of anomaly in space and time. This is something that the Seven already knew as heard in the Visitor tapes. So to sum it up, the Fortnite Island is actually a weird rift in the universe which attracts supernatural events to it. You can think of the Fortnite Island kind of like the hotel from the TV show The Shining, where the island is actually a character in itself. Another good example is the TV show Lost, where the island these people are trapped on is as interesting as the characters also on the island. The island being this mysterious location in space and time explains a lot about the live events. All these supernatural objects like the monster, Kevin the Cube, Singularity, and more were all drawn to this very island. But why? I guess we're gonna have to wait and see for the pieces to come together. And yes, that means Battle Royale isn't actually a simulation, which we've heard so many times. A lot of the evidence for this comes to light with the end of Season 2, but I'm very insistent on telling the story chronologically. So, take another scoop of that popcorn because it's back down the rabbit hole we go. Okay, so in Season 2 specifically, the storyline revolved heavily around Midas and his plans to defy the Battle Royale storm. After noticing the island was an anomaly that was stuck in some kind of time loop, he realizes nothing he did actually mattered. Every time he would kill someone by making them gold, the loop would naturally occur and everything would be right back to normal. So he secretly recruits Jules, a talented engineer from Shadow, to work on a device with him that will help them break free of the loop for good. They quickly connect this loop to the storm. It's the storm that's the one singularity in every match of Fortnite. It always gets closer and closer, and when it finishes, the loop starts all over again. So, in order to break this loop, they had to work on something which would defy the storm forever. Jules and Midas immediately start working together on a device using the power of Oro's staff in order to break the storm once and for all and finally save the island from the loop. When the day comes, Midas activates the device, and this triggers the most recent live event taking us into Season 3. The device is activated and begins to push back the storm, which ends up breaking the loop temporarily. We're teleported to a mysterious white office. It belongs to a man named John Jones, and we hear him talking about tampering with the island. Once they do it, we're taken back to the island where the device fails. It's then powered back up again by Midas and Jules and actually pushes back the storm for good. For a brief minute, everything is truly peaceful. Until we're teleported back to the office of John Jones and he sees us. He's shocked and asks if we could hear him. Then we're taken right back to the island again where the storm has been replaced with a wall of water. Midas's plan fails. But who is this man John Jonesy? Why is he monitoring us on the island? Top 5 Gaming, you sure he's not the one in charge of the whole simulation thing? Trust me, we will get to it, but first, let's speed through Chapter 2, Season 3. The season opens up with a bang, with Midas no longer being in control of the agency and left for dead by Jules. He's eventually eaten by a shark, and we're introduced to the water-filled island of Season 3. This season introduced Marauders, which are some kind of Fortnite SEAL Team 6. They rift into each match to take out anyone they see. Unlike any other AI, these Marauders also act like real players when no one's looking. They dance with each other, build, and much more. This, along with the fact that they come from rifts, is direct proof that they are tied to a bigger picture. It'll be interesting to learn more about where they came from and what their purpose is. Season 3 also brought us a small side story of Siona and Dio. These two are a pair of ancient voyagers who crash-landed onto the Fortnite Island, and we helped to send them back home. Fortunately, it seems they have returned with Dio missing. Their quest included interactable rifts, and it was the first time these rifts have made an appearance in Chapter 2. And while Season 3 didn't include much in the way of storyline, especially after the bombshell device event, it's possible that we'll be getting much more storyline as Chapter 2 progresses. And so here we are today, disorganized, clunky, and my YouTube comments filled with fans arguing over whether Midas is dead or alive. Guess what? It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It's about time we finally reveal what you've all been waiting for, us to connect the dots. It's time we finally talk about the Metaverse. In the lead up to Season 4, we now know that the next season of Fortnite will be a Marvel-themed battle pass. It will include skins such as Thor, Wolverine, Iron Man, Galactus, and more. Mark Ryan even tweeted out that he thinks Season 4 will be superb. So yeah, while this doesn't exactly sound like we're getting more storyline, hear me out here. It's about time we come full circle from the prologue and talk about how things like the bridge, the 0 point, and the island plays into this larger narrative that also connects Midas, Thor from the Avengers, and even the Seven. Epic Games has talked about an idea for years which none of us have really paid much attention to. Since the very first time Fortnite embedded itself into the real world with the Durr Burger, Epic Games has tried to turn Fortnite from a single story into a bundle of stories. The reason nothing makes sense sometimes is because it's not all one linear storyline. Fortnite is made up of a bunch of stories that have one big overarching theme. Think about it. Notice how each season has its own smaller storyline and identity? It's specifically planned so each story plays its own part in a bigger picture when things start to accelerate in future seasons. Right now, we don't know the overarching theme as Epic has yet to reveal it, although we do have a great hint of what to expect in the future, and it involves crossovers. With Season 4 bringing a Marvel season, we're going to be seeing an overlap between crossovers and the storyline. Epic has been slowly preparing us for this, from Aquaman bringing us Coral Castle in Season 3 to Deadpool kicking Meowscles off the yacht in Season 2. In the future, I'm expecting Fortnite to completely include crossover characters directly into the Fortnite storyline. Like I said, the Fortnite island is part of a metaverse. That means every conceivable universe is connected. And I'm not just saying that, here are multiple tweets and evidence and video clips of Donald Mustard and Tim Sweeney talking about it. So to simplify, it means that both DC and Marvel's universes exist in the Fortnite storyline. Looping back to the Palpatine line in the Fortnite Star Wars event, that was the only time we ever heard that. It literally confirms that Fortnite is canon in Star Wars. In fact, the way that the storyline is, it basically means that Fortnite is canon in everything. It exists in Marvel's universe, it exists in DC's universe, and more. And all of those universes are connected with each other through Fortnite, all through the bridge. That paired with the fact that we've seen objects from the island get rifted into the real world, it means that Fortnite not only exists in pop culture, but Fortnite exists outside of itself. And it's this billion-dollar idea which is gonna fuel the Fortnite machine for years to come. Don't believe me? In the future during Season 5, we'll be reintroduced to Midas with some extra characters. This pack was also tweeted by Donald Mustard, who also confirms Midas is indeed alive. Midas' new form is actually based on Lex Luthor, and it appears he's quite literally teaming up with the Joker and Poison Ivy, further expanding the Fortnite metaverse. Donald even said that more and more characters are getting close to zero when talking about the pack. He literally confirmed that Midas is working with DC villains in the future to get to zero, whatever that means. But that's Season 5's problem, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. For now, Midas is nothing but a fish, apparently. Yep, that's right. For some reason, according to leaks by Tabor Hill, there will be an ultra-rare Midas fish with some upgraded fishing rods. Yep, a Midas fish. Don't know if it'll just be a golden fish or literally some kind of fish with a Midas haircut, but that would be kind of hilarious. It's important to note that not every single story arc was finished in this video, and that's because we're covering a story that hasn't finished yet. Don't worry about it though, when there's an update, you'll faintly see a tiny little clickbait thumbnail in your sub box from Top 5 Gaming with us there to explain it. This has been Tommy, thanks for watching.